Good afternoon, Quest for Thunder. We're glad you're here. If this is your first time visiting Quest for Thunder, we're refitting a 1983 Pearson 422. Her name is Thunder. And we're in the midst of a pretty major interior refit. We've done a lot of work on this boat since the day we purchased her. And we continue to work on her. So we're glad you're here. We're glad you're joining us. We encourage you to comment and help us out. If you've got ideas, if you see something that we're doing, we can do it better, a comment from you is a great help. These videos are fairly real time, and so your comments are definitely helpful, and they definitely will be applied because we are almost real time. So again, thanks for joining. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working a little bit on the nav station area, doing some work there. We've moved away from some of the major projects because we've basically completed most of them. We do have one left. That's the one systems type project, well, maybe two. We have the stove and the propane system, and then we also have the sinks. I ordered sinks for the aft and forward head, and they came in, but they were the wrong size, so I had to send them back. So we're being delayed there. But once we get the sinks in, we'll be able to get the plumbing all hooked back up, and at that point, we'll be able to clean the system, run water through it. We have already replaced the fresh water pump, and so everything is good there. We inspected the plumbing when we took up the flooring, and all the plumbing is good. So we're in good shape there. We just need to get it clean. And so that'll be the next thing that we do. But anyway, we're glad you're here, and we appreciate the fact that you are taking the time to watch. If you haven't subscribed to us, please consider subscribing, and just help us to grow. Share these videos with your family and friends, and don't forget to comment. And so let's get to it. We'll get below, and I'll show you what we're up to today. Okay, so here's our nav station. This is the nav table with storage underneath. And that's the nav station. This is the back bulkhead. This is the exterior bulkhead of the boat right here. Our plan right now is to put a piece of plywood across, all the way across, and cover this section here. And then in that we'll mount instrumentation. As you can see, the table's been cut back, and that's to allow the face of this nav station to come down to here, and the door is still open. So what I'm doing right now is, as you can see right here, there's a small piece of wood that's different here that we've installed. I've got to take this back out. I just fit it. I'll take this back out and glue it in, and then put it back. And then what we're going to do here is we're just going to sand all this down. I know the grain is going a different direction here, but I didn't really have much of a choice because I didn't have a lot of wood that was close to enough thickness, so that's kind of why that's the way it is. So we're going to take this out, and we're going to glue it so that when I put it back in, it glues and stays, and then we'll ferret out and finish it. We'll sand this whole thing down. We're just going to paint this area anyway, so it should be okay. And then you can see there's a couple of spots like this right here where we need to just take that and ferret out, and then and paint it. So the other part is back here. Now this is the situation we got back here. So we have this new AC unit put in. This is an air handler for our AC unit. There are 4 of these air handling units. There's one in the aft cabin back there. This one. There's one right over there where you can see in the corner where that Home Depot bucket is. Right above it, you can see a vent. That's the other one, the other air handling unit. And then the forward V-berth is forward of the mast there, through that door. That is the 4th one. So these things are not cheap. We replaced this one because the compressor portion of the air handler went out on us, and in the process of doing this, we learned that these air handler units were oversized for the type of units that we have. They were too big. So that was something that we learned. So yeah, so we have this one new one. The other three work. So we haven't, replaced them yet, but eventually we'll start doing that. I think the next one that we'll replace, even though it's not broken, will be the one that's back here in the aft cabin. And then we'll do the one in the other one in the forward cabin, the salon. And then finally, lastly, we'll do the one in the after cabin. Excuse me, in the forward cabin. But anyway, got to figure out what we're going to do about this situation here. The AC system in this new configuration is ducted, as you can see, this flexible ducting here. Whereas the old system, it just spilled out into this. It just spilled out into this space, and then there was a louvered door here, and it just poured out into the space. It's very inefficient. It's much more efficient to duct it, and this one requires ducting. So there's a duct, as you can see. And now I've just got to figure out how I'm going to run this duct and where I'm going to exit the duct. It's AC. So I have a couple of choices. I could cut a hole in this bottom plate here and run the duct to that, and then the air would just spill out across this section of the floor of the bench and then out into the floor space. It's AC. So, I would like to get it up higher, but in reality, the highest I'll get it is right about here anyway, because this is fiberglass, solid fiberglass, and this is the overhead. So it's not going to go up there. So the highest I could possibly get it would be in this piece of plywood that I'm going to put here. The problem with that is that I'm going to make this so that it hinges at the bottom and folds down towards the desk, so that if I need to access back there for working on instruments or putting in new instruments, I have access. This being hooked to the back of that could be problematic. Every time I open it, I've got to deal with this hose. I don't know. If it's not a very long run of hose, it's right here, it might not be too bad. The only problem then would be if I'm sitting here and this thing's blowing on my head, I don't have any hair up there, it could be uncomfortable. So anyway, that's the situation. I'm contemplating filling this space here and just making a smaller hole for this to come through, but I'm undecided on how I'm going to handle this. This should be hidden, because when this piece of plywood is in here, it's going to come across, it's going to be flush with this, it's going to mount to this, and then it should be hidden down in here, so it shouldn't be a problem. This wouldn't be visible, but I don't know. I don't necessarily like the way that is set up. So anyway, I've got to decide how I want to handle that. Also, there's electrical and stuff that's back there that has to do with things that will be out here, and so yeah, got to figure it out. I don't know what I'm going to do, but anyway, I'm just going to leave the back raw like that. I don't think there's any reason to change that. All right, so I'm going to get to work on this piece here, and I'll be back with you. Okay, so here's what we've accomplished thus far today. So I've taken this piece of wood here out and glued it and reinserted it so that it's now drying. I'll use some wood glue, so that should do that. And then you'll see this piece of wood here, this board here. What I've done is I've measured the distance from the back to here that I want this new piece of wood that's going to be in here going across, how far I want it to stick out so it's even with this edge, this cut off edge here. And I put one over here as well. So I've installed that for mounting that piece of wood to. That piece of wood will mount to this, both sides. That top screw is not screwed in yet because I'm waiting for this upper piece to fully cure. Right now it's not. Also, this is going to be open. This little space here is going to be open. Just the nature of the way things worked out. I might try to figure out a way to, to fill this in. I don't know. But right now it's going to be open like this. So I've attached these fiddles to the side here, and I have another one that needs to go right here. But I need to trim it up to make it fit properly, and then attach the fiddles, and that will prevent anything that's in here from rolling out, falling out. So I can put stuff back here. I can store stuff back here, and that way I don't have to worry about this. This won't be seen. This area will not be seen because the wood will come down to, to about right here and go across. So you won't be able to see behind. You won't be able to see behind it. So this space will be unobservable once that's done. So now I'm just going to try to figure out what I'm going to do about this ducting. I have a vent, this vent here, and what I'm thinking about doing is mounting it to the underside. So cutting a hole in this, and putting this up through there and mounting it, and then attaching the hose to this. And so I could cut down the hose quite a bit, and then I could put this back up here in the corner like that, back in the corner like that, and then just attach the hose. That way the hose is out of the way, air conditioning can blow down in here. I think that might be the best way to do this. So that's where we are so far today. Cleaned it up a bit. Just need to sand everything down, get a fresh coat of paint on everything. I'm gonna spray paint this back portion here just for grins, and then straighten all that out. I have to go home to cut the wood. I have a bit of a workshop set up in the garage that helps me, and it makes it easier, so that's what I'll be doing. So hopefully by next week we'll have this all finished.